Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Just getting all of the settings up and running for the stream. All the alerts out. All set. What's going on, Steve? How you doing? Good morning to you. Bullish CPI, the cleanest CPI that we've had for several weeks. Several weeks. Finally got it today. Just a minute here. Get everything all set up. With the giveaway, forgot about that for today. That should be all set to go. Beautiful. Perfect. What's going on, Q Luke? How you doing? AO, what's going on? Good morning. Last night was a doozy for the IB. I'm going to review it again later, but just a quick glimpse into it. I held that trade for 90 minutes, an hour and a half. I'll even go down to a lower time frame. No entry for Globex IB last night. Globex was, I'll bring up the data for that. So that's what we're going to be reviewing. Globex was a pretty difficult read for Tuesday nights. So you're looking at Wednesday for daily session on M&Q. Then we go to IB by rejection. This one on a Wednesday night. So you're looking at Wednesday's data since the time frame closes at 5 o'clock. This one took all the way until pretty much 7:45 to break, but the data tells us that regardless of the high or low forming first, it should go and take the high. So you're not even looking at a directional bias, really. You're just, okay, if it goes and makes the high, if it goes and makes the low, doesn't really matter. Sorry about the background noise on the mic. It should be fixed now. Perfect. Yeah, this one, I don't trade Wednesday night or Tuesday night Globex for this reason, because of the stats telling us last night we had a 69% chance to go and take the high and an 85% chance. And that's with 13 data points on both. So it's perfect. No breaks. 26 out of 26 for 6 months. So 52 weeks, 26 weeks for 6 months worth of data. And last night it just took absolutely forever to go and play out. For Asia, I do not play Globex. Globex was 10 points off full TP. And we ended up going all the way back down to the low within 15 minutes. I'll go down to, let's take a look at the 1 minute time frame for this from last night. So over here. So here's our Globex IB. We had the high get put in first. And again, the data for a Tuesday night Globex doesn't mean anything. The high and the low both have very high stats to go and take the high regardless. We had the high form first at 6:15. We had the low form at 6:52. This one should have taken the high. I did see some people took an entry right at the close, 29,000, and then they caught about 100 points to the upside. And then it came all the way back down, broke the IB low by maybe 3 points. Let's see. 979, 983, 4-point break of IB low. And then it went and took the IB high, but this was establishing it into Asia open. So Asia, we had the IB high form first. I hate that there's no control Z. Also, anyone else having issues with, I think everyone should be having issues with their Tradeify accounts. Tradeify's dashboard, and I tried logging in this morning to Tradeify, and there's nothing, absolutely nothing. Shows no accounts. A little bit frustrating. Anyway, for Asia last night, perfect entry, perfect 50% entry, 40% entry actually. So the trade that I had, and I'm actually going to go over to MNQ because it's a little bit easier to show on here. The trade that I ended up having last night, I'll go down to the 5-minute as well. So we mark out our Asia IB. We had the high form first, low form second. And all the way out to the right. And I will also go ahead and get that range. So we have 75% and 25%. So that was our Asia IB last night. We had the high form first, low form second. I took an entry at 8:52, so 8 minutes before the IB closed. I could have waited a little bit. This was my position right here. I should have waited a little bit longer. I would have had a little less stress in the position. That was my position. Now, as you can see, we never once went and hit 75% of the IB. We ended up holding on for dear life. We missed IB 75 by 5 points. That's my stop loss. If that stop loss had been hit, I would have pivoted the position to long, target at IB high, stop loss at IB 50. We did not hit it. We got close. We got very, very close. And honestly, I was sitting down at my desk and I almost prematurely flipped. And then I said, you know what? That's not the model. If it hits, it hits. So be it. It did not hit. And then I ended up being in this trade from 8:52 all the way until 10:06. So an hour and a half, hour and 20 minutes in this trade of chop. It was terrible, terrible chop for about an hour. And then we finally, as we started getting that directional movement down, which there was no way that I was holding this until full TP hit. This hit at 11 o'clock. I closed out at 10:06. And it took almost another hour for us to drop 40 points. So I did end up missing out on quite a bit. I exited at 29.09 and full TP hit at 28.967. There's just no way I would have been able to hold that. Usually Asia and Globex IB, they play out within an hour. This is the first Asia that I've personally seen while trading the Asia IB that it has not broken within like 25 to 30 minutes of being established. I think the longest one I've held before was maybe 45 minutes, and that was a long time to be in the position as well. But last night, it was almost a 1.6 R. It ended up being 1.5. I got out at just below IB 25, so it did end up being 1-to-1. Even then, I got out right about there, so 0.9 R on that. It did hit full TP. It just, I was struggling to stay awake. I could not last any longer. Gold last night. I did see, I made that post on Twitter, and a lot of people replied to it with gold, saying that MGC played out incredibly. So we'll go to the 5-minute. Let's take a look at our gold time frame. So there's Globex right there. And then here is high form first, low form second. Perfect 50% retracement, and then it took 15 minutes. That would have been nice. That would have been very nice. What's going on, Pipti? Good morning. Are there plans for an IB50 algo? Probably not. You might be able to customize the indicator, maybe, but I don't think we have plans, or they have plans. Edgeful has plans for an IB50 algo. Probably not. Last night was a doozy. It was. It ended up hitting, but it was just too long. Way too long. Started with my first Tradify account 3 weeks ago. First payout secured yesterday. Very nice tan. Good morning. Good morning, Michael. How you doing? Eden. 80 Torres. NQ Luke, Steve. What's going on? Good morning, Rolo. How you doing? Tim, VJ, Walldive, Walk. El Supremo. How you doing? C Wild. Patrick. The entire, so I did just go and check to see if they were possibly back up. The entire Tradify Discord is up in arms right now because their accounts aren't populated. Brett Simba, actually, just now, 9:13, accounts are being restored now. We will put out a message on restoring accounts who took losses soon. So it was very strange logging in this morning. I thought that, I was like, did I blow my accounts on Tradify? Because they weren't on my Tradevate. And then I went into their Discord and everyone from, which kind of, it sucks too, because we had the cleanest CPI print that we've had for a very long time today. The trade last night was about 45 points, 44 plus fees. And it was an hour and a half of holding it. Sad thing is, if I had held on for a little bit longer, I would have capitalized on 40 points. So I could have squeezed another $80 out and then gone to sleep. And of course, I exited it, get up from my desk. Before I'm even up from my desk, it's down another 20, 30 points, and then finally went down to 40. Went all the way to 28,977. But again, if this was New York and we entered at 10:23, we would have been, this is the equivalent of holding the trade until 11:45, 11:50, and then not having full TP hit until 12:50. Almost 1 o'clock. What's going on, Warmax? How you doing? I couldn't stay awake anymore last night. It was way too long. Yeah, you would have been in that position till 6 a.m. Is it letting you log into Tradify on Tradify accounts? I can log in, yeah, it just won't. It doesn't show the accounts on Tradify. Can gold be traded with the IB? Yes, it can. You just can't trade gold. You can't trade the IB on gold for New York because gold has a different pit time open. Gold's pit time is 8:20 is when it opens. That's when most of the liquidity comes in. So you are unable, you cannot go and trade gold for New York open the same way that you would for anything else. You can, however, you can go and trade gold on IB. Sorry, not that. Just mumbled there a little bit. You can't trade gold for Globex IB. You can trade gold for Globex IB, and you can trade it for Asia. Gosh, that was a struggle. You cannot trade it for New York. You can trade it for Globex. You can trade it for Asia. Those ones are fine. You cannot trade it for New York because New York's pit open for precious metals is 8:20. I think, let's see. Precious. If I could spell. It is 8:20 on gold, 8:25 on silver, and 8:10 on copper. Those are their pit time opens. So that is when they're open in the New York Stock Exchange with all the floor traders, and that's when most of the volume comes in. So you cannot trade those the same way that you would for New York. What's best time for NQ to be in a trade? For the IB, I don't think we can front run it anymore because it's dependent on, I keep forgetting, I've been trading the IB one way for over a year, and I keep forgetting that I can't front run it now. With the IB closure zones, entering after the IB's finalized, you can still front run it, but you have to have you have to be very tight with where the closing zone is, or very confident with where the closing zone is. Last night, I even got in a little bit early. As long as it's not closing over 75% of the IB, you're fine. If it closes over 50%, it's best to wait for it to either get over 75% or get back under 50%. And you can see, had I done that correctly last night, I would have only been in the trade for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes max. So this top zone, just over the midpoint, but under 75% of the IB, for yesterday's instance, this would have been this zone right here. So it's 50 to 75%. That zone is a no-go. If it closes in at 10:30, between 50 and 75%, if it gets over 75%, you can go long to IB high. If it gets under 50%, you can go short to IB low with your stop loss at 75%. So that's how we go about trading. New haircut? Yes, sir. Got a haircut yesterday. I was getting a little too long, and the heat was not helping. It was very hot. So that's this is all going to be in the PDF. I'm going to try to get the PDF out today. I know it's been backlogged a little bit, but keep in mind that I do have other stuff that I work on outside of the stream. It's not just the stream and then done for the day. I have one-on-one sessions. I have calls with other streams. I have calls with edgeful occasionally. A back end. So market will tank if the PDF doesn't drop today, I heard. Market's already tanking. There's not much I can do to save it. So that will all be for, hopefully, get that out later today. I don't have anything until after the stream. I don't have anything from 1 to 5, so I should be able to pump it out there. I'll probably put it on my X, and I'll put it in the Discord as well. All right, going into today, I am actually, so we have an inside bar, surprisingly. This one is also a little too big. I don't think that we're going to drop to 686. That's another $16 pivot. Same thing that we did on Monday into Friday, or Friday into Monday, sorry. This inside bar does not have the same likelihood of that 90%. It doesn't play out the same when you go to buy previous day's size. Previous day's size, 3 to 3.99%. We have a 50-50 chance, and the previous one was way back in January. So it's not relevant to this current market right now, today, this week, this past month. Even if I wanted to go up higher, yesterday's range was technically 4.8%. And you get that by going high to low. So high down to low. We actually went all the way to, with that wick, 5.4%. So way too high of a range. Yesterday we did, I don't know how many people trade on these firms, but my funded futures and funded next sent out a slew of emails and alerts saying not to trade, because you cannot trade within 2% of the limit, and you absolutely on those firms cannot trade within the 5% limit. So if the market falls 5% or more in one day, you're just as confused as I am if you heard that and you kind of scratch your head. If the market falls 5% or more in one day, there are many prop firms. Luckily, Lucid and Tradeify are not one of them, I believe. I don't think Lucid has this rule, but my funded futures, E8, Top Step has this rule. Even if you're in the trade before it hits the 5% drop, they require you to close it, which is kind of stupid.
Yeah.
What's going on, Andre? I think it's called the limit down.
We got the recordings on, right?
Recordings are on. You are responsible. If you are trading while we're getting close to that 5% limit down, you're responsible to close the trades. They're not going to help you. If you end up trading past that, then I think they breach your account. Another lovely case for prop firms, Andre.
What is this? What happened?
The 5% limit down rule.
What is that?
My Funded Futures, Top Step, and a couple other decent sized firms. It's a 5% limit down rule. If we get within 2% of falling 5% or more for the day, falling 5% for the day, you can't open any more trades. If we go past 5% and you're in a trade, they breach your account.
Why?
I don't know. It's the.
Do you like that rule?
No, it's kind of dumb.
Why would they do that?
Let's see if Tradeify. I'm trying to remember where I saw the alert yesterday. Yesterday we
So
went
you
down
can't open a new trade. So like yesterday, pretty much, you wouldn't be able to open a new trade.
Yesterday, I think we were gapped up, if I'm not mistaken. So we ended up only being down 3.8%. But Friday, you wouldn't have been able to.
But what difference does it make to them?
Exactly. It just probably someone that's in a short made too much money. Maybe they need to get it closed out. I'm trying to find the alert right now.
I see a comment here about Lucid. Lucid keeps looking better and better. Do they have it?
No, they don't.
I mean, that doesn't really make sense.
Okay, this is the alert right here. It's called it said, attention traders, the NASDAQ has hovered around 4% down within the past hour. We ask all traders to monitor market movement and ensure positions are handled carefully and accordingly to the My Funded Futures 2% rule. If the NASDAQ approaches 5% movement down from previous day's close, traders are to liquidate positions and monitor carefully below re-entry. Once the asset cools down, which is just saying it once it's back above 5%, they can trade again. And then this is it's just another rule in place. They and Funded Next, you have to have a trade open every 7 days, and if you don't, then it's a breached account.
That actually makes a little bit more sense because I know that they have to pay the fees.
Yeah.
But it does make more sense, but it's just not ideal because they have to pay every month they have to pay those fees every month. So that kind of sucks. But
to protect our firm, we do not allow traders to participate when a product is trading within 2% of a price limit. The prohibited conduct is enforced in the following accounts, yada, yada. Any breaches of these accounts results in a breached account. So even if you have one micro open and you're up like 10,000 on the account.
So if you caught the whole move, let's just say somehow
from open yesterday, you had to have closed your trade at like 690 or like 680 something.
Seems kind of insane, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Yeah, so I did go on a little tangent there. So what I was saying before you got in here, and then someone asked about the limit down rule. I don't think that we're going to hit the inside bar again today. If we do, and we have 3,000 point moves in 5 trading days, I'll tip my hat to the market. But the size of the range, previous day's range is 5.4%. We need to, from where we are right now, we need to drop $16 on Qs, which is, I think, 700 points, 600 points on QQ, on M&Q, which I don't think is going to happen again.
I highly doubt it, but I also was highly doubting a massive move yesterday, and
Yeah, can we get a little? Hold on a second here. Oh, they got rid of the soundboard. I was gonna play the sad trumpets for you to catch that move two times.
Yeah,
That's the right direction.
You know, I caught a couple trades yesterday, but
the one that you missed out on.
I just have never. What's up?
The one you missed out on was the holding it. It's so difficult.
I just like don't. It's not even like it's so difficult. It's yes, of course, it's very difficult. But the reason I find it so difficult is because these days are so rare that when you try to go for these days, you always end up being worse off. That like, let's say you hold a runner and you just like hold it, you set your stop to break even and you just hold it and you just let it run all day.
Yep.
The amount of times that you're going to get taken out at break even might not outpace a day like yesterday, like the profits that you would have made on the day yesterday if you had just taken your actual target the way you wanted to. Like,
yeah,
if you look at yesterday, I was short at, let me share my screen 1 second.
Well, that's your question in a minute, Conscious.
Like, I was short at 798 and then 801. Here, right here.
Mm-hmm.
Right up here. I was short at 798 and 801. If I had held, right, let's just say somehow, whatever, for whatever reason I held.
You got knocked out.
You would have ended up closing for half the profit, right? Like 670 points. Obviously, that's a lot, right?
Yep.
But that's going for a 60-point move 10 times.
How long do you hold it?
No, I would never have held the whole time.
No, I'm not saying you in particular, but when you're in a position, I think I know what post you may be talking about. How do you validate holding it down to the entire 1,200 point, 1,500 point drop, and then securing it there and not having it try to hold for a little bit more, and then you bounce up another 600 points and you lose, like what you just said, lose half your profit?
Exactly. I mean, there's no validation. You're just hoping that it continues.
No.
There's no way.
On stream yesterday too, we had, and you were in here for it. We had an 8% stat to have a double break of the inside bar.
I know.
We had a 32% stat to fill the gap. The screener was screaming bullish.
Yep.
We had, I think it was a 7% chance that we went to 1 standard deviation with the size of the IB that we had yesterday, and we ended up going all the way to 2 or 2.5. So all the stats that we had going for us were mediocre at best.
Dude, there was nothing. I mean, this is not driven by, like, this was something happened here. Like someone's offloading a position, something that's like causing like cascading something that like is not, you can't predict that because you don't know, obviously nobody knows like how these hedge funds, their books are positioned. And you don't know what their exposure is before going into a CPI. And they're like, you know what? I'm not super confident this is going to turn out that great. I'm going to start to offload and rebalance my book. And that triggers another fund to start to sell. And then that's how you get days like this. But you can't predict days like this.
Did have news at 9:55 from Bank of America that said they're anticipating a 0.5 point rate hike next meeting. So there was news behind it, and then it just continued to. And it's so stupid because the person that made it, I always love referring to this, the guy that made it, it wasn't one of the top traders. You go and look at his score on it's like Market Watch or something. They have all the win rates and probability of being right for Wall Street analysts, and this guy's at like a 28-30% win rate.
Well,
and then they send him out. We have a 600 point reversal back up.
Yeah. I mean, like,
and then we'll probably be at all-time highs next week.
Even if from my entry at 29,800 to the end of the day, if I just waited the whole day and I was like, you know what, I'm going to let it run. That's 700 points.
Mm-hmm.
That's 10 days of catching a 70-point move instead of hoping for a gigantic, completely unrealistic day of a 600-point move in one day. Like, does that sound more reasonable to go for 60 or 70 points on 10 different days?
I think I've had the biggest trade I've had recently is 110.
Exactly.
And I feel even then I don't want to hold it that long.
I agree. So, like, you can see a lot of people make a lot of money on these days, and not to say that it's luck, because it is an incredible skill and incredibly difficult to hold, especially when you get a move up like this. Like, these moves look small at this scale, but this is 220 points or 210 points of a bounce.
Well, not to mention too, unless this is all referring to a live account, by the way, everyone, or an account that doesn't have consistency.
Yeah.
So pretty much every prop firm now has consistency on the funded accounts, Top Step included, my funded futures, unless you're on a rapid. You're on the funded account, you're cut out of the trade before it even makes a quarter of that move.
Yeah.
Do you have a couple questions to catch up on here?
Sure,
yeah,
right.
I still can't.
I
can't log into my Tradify accounts. They're still down.
Because you have 8 now?
What was that?
Because you have 8?
No, they did fix that. Ended up just deleting the 4. Tradify, I think it was probably because their cup ended yesterday, but if I log into Tradify, all my
Who won that, by the way?
Some guy with like 110 followers on Twitter.
What a legend.
And second place was 104 followers.
Pretty good.
Bias for today, I don't really have one. Usually you're able to defer it based on we're closer to the inside bar low or high, or we have a gap fill chance. We're gap down 1% right now, and we have to for us to hit the inside bar high and or low, we have to drop either 600 points or we have to push out 1,200 points. So pretty unlikely that we have a break of the inside bar stat. This will get at the very least, it will get the win rate back down a little bit. This one was very, very hot, but now it's cooling off a little bit because of the size of the range. It's not going to go and break previous days range. I thought you were also, it is giveaway Wednesday, so make sure you guys comment edgeful in chat. I thought you were talking about Lanto trades there for a bit, Andre.
I was just talking about it in general.
He made 2.2 million
I saw that
on Friday.
Yeah.
I'm not discrediting it at all, but do you have any idea how difficult it would be to have, first off, fund your own account with $110,000, $120,000, and then full port all of it and hold it for the entire move for... He got in right at 6 o'clock open for Globex and shorts and held it for almost 20 hours.
Did he?
Yeah.
I thought that he, and I don't know, honestly, I don't know anything about him. That was the first time I've ever seen him. But he actually posted.
He made a little video about it. He held his brokerage statement for it.
Wait, he used 460 NQ minis.
Yeah. Yeah, he full ported he had a live account with 120,000 in it, and he put the entire lot into a short position.
Pretty good.
So he took 4 120 positions on NQ. 120 mini positions.
The most I've ever traded is 12 at once, and that had me sweating. So I can't even imagine what it's like to trade 460 contracts at once.
Like, he gets 12. He gets a lot of hate for it because it's. how do you validate that being trading? I mean, people are just upset that he made that much anyway.
Yeah.
They're always
No, I
going
mean,
to be.
I cannot even imagine, to be honest, like trading with that size I'm surprised he had the margin for it. Like,
then just happening to hold it for the entire move down.
It's not even that. Like on Tradeovate, to hold one mini intraday, you need $1,000 per contract. Live account.
I think it's overnight.
It is.
I think it's 3,000.
No. Overnight is minis are like 40K.
Oh,
per contract. But he didn't. If he opened the position at 6 p.m., it's only over from 5 to 6 p.m. That's the overnight technically.
So no margin required for 6.
You need, if you open it at 6, you can $1,000 per contract margin for the rest of the the day, up until 5 p.m. the following.
No, for a fact, because I was looking at his Twitter. We just took out the Datawick high. That was what I wanted to hold along to it. I tried on Top Step, but I ended up getting wicked out just now. The video that he made, he entered with as much as he could, and then held it from 6 o'clock until like 3:30 the following day.
Yeah, if he had held to 5, then he would have gotten liquidated. For the profit, though, they just would have closed the position. Like they wouldn't have taken away his profits. Obviously, the margin wouldn't have been there.
His total profit, I think, was 2.8 million. 120,000 to 2.8 million.
I mean, does it really matter if you're trading at that point? And he made another 200 and something thousand the other day, yesterday or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't really.
Yeah, I didn't know who he was until 2 days ago, until Friday.
He did the same. He was when, I don't know if you remember when Apex started calling out traders.
No.
He was in that group saying that he'd churned a bunch. So they kind of discredited he made $2 million in 4 days on Take Profit Trader. And then they kind of discredited his gain because they said that he churned X amount. Anyway, besides the point.
Yeah.
I
mean, people are going to hate on him.
Yeah,
that's
always.
For sure. Always.
Who is it now? James Bruce.
Yeah, where is he, by the way?
I don't know.
Oh, he said Wi-Fi issues.
Poor guy.
Dude, I had Wi-Fi issues the other day.
I've been having Verizon issues all week.
Yeah.
All month. Bullish buy set so far. Wednesdays are the best freaking day of the week to go and trade the IB. If anyone is curious, this has the highest win rate for any single day session. It used to be Tuesdays, now it's Wednesdays. These ones are stealing the spotlight now. Hopefully we see the low form first. For Wednesdays, this will be 10 consecutive now. I think last week was 9 or 11. 10 or 11. We close at 90% of the IB, and we go and take that corresponding IB level within the first 5 minutes of the IB finalizing at 10:30. So by 10:35 on a Wednesday for the past 10, maybe 11, I don't remember the exact number, we've closed at 90%. So for today's instance, if we have this low stay form first, the high form second, we'll close somewhere up at 7:05 and then go and take the high at 7:06 immediately. But we still have 50 minutes left.
Every CPI for a while has been, we got the recordings on, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I promise.
Just want to make sure. Every CPI that has had that pop, I don't remember, but every CPI that has had the pop has, from my memory, not from any of the data, has just reversed. Like if the initial move is up,
yep,
I've seen it just swallow the move.
It's the news wick.
Yep.
So we took
By
the
the
news
way-
wick high first. We should go and take the low second.
You want to open up your edgeful one sec?
You got a surprise for me?
Can you refresh?
Is my logo about to pop on the screen?
Hmm.
The top?
Hold on.
What am I looking at?
What is happening?
Nice long warm it.
Oh, hold on.
That was 100 points on the 1 minute. This is a 100.1 minute candle right now. What the heck? Very nice. Like if this, Andre, if this shows my ability to hold a trade, I couldn't even hold this. I was in this one for 90 minutes last night and it made me terribly upset. It did go and hit full TP, but I couldn't bear to stay up for another hour. It was I held it for 90 minutes and I was sitting here. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to fall
I really
asleep.
like to trade Globex.
The stats are they're incredible. The stats are worlds better than the average New York day right now.
Maybe
Asia
I need to start to
especially.
do some more on Globex, like more reports, more like playbooks.
There's a lot of volume that comes in. A lot that comes in right at, especially 8 o'clock open.
Mm-hmm.
Because all the news that we get in the afternoon or throughout the day, that's when they're able to trade it. Like it's us getting news at 3 in the morning and then having to look at that freaking reversal. Holy smokes.
I know.
It's the equivalent of us getting news at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and then they get to trade it at 8 o'clock.
Google's pushing, Apple's pushing, Meta's pushing, NVDA is trying to push, and he's gone. Great. Well, let me pull up my screen quick. Zinc just dropped off, which is awesome. I think he's having some Wi-Fi issues. I'm just messaging him right now. So what are you guys thinking here? I see Pipti always talks about Tokyo. James is saying do a live stream on Globex in Asia, please. That I don't know if we can do. Maybe we need to get some different people. I'm actually working on more algos now. One of the things that I'm curious what you guys think about this, and I'm sure that you guys are going to say more, but if one of the reasons that we haven't been releasing that many more algos and we've just releasing updates to the existing algos is because I don't want to turn the algos into what the reports are, meaning there's 150 reports, there's 1 million customizations for each, and it's just kind of like, I don't really know where to start. And if we do that with the algos, and let's just say we have 50 algos, like, is it just going to become another thing where there's going to be a certain subset that are very popular, and then from there, we like have to create more guidance on which ones are working, which ones work best in what situations. And it's not like I'm already working on it, so it's not really that big of a concern. But by the way, Zinc's coming back and so is James. But it's not that big of a concern. I'm just a little bit concerned about throwing too much into it because the orb and the IB are the ones that are the strongest. And the engulfing candles is also like very strong too. But welcome back.
Sorry about that. My PC just blue screen and gave me a heart attack.
But yeah, I'm actually working on some now. And ironically, if I go to NQ, one of the things that I was looking at was trying to see what algos can I create. Something's happening here. What is it on the ES
This
yesterday?
movement right now is insane.
Dude, I know.
Too bad I can't get in. It's too early.
Pretty much one of the algos that I'm looking to build is one that can catch the bigger moves, right? Like in this case, it went long yesterday and it caught 22 points on ES, which is a great move, but looking for something that will catch the bigger moves. And if you guys have ideas for other algos you want to build, please send them to our support. We're more than happy to look into it. We're obviously not going to just build any algo that you guys send, but if you have good ideas of like, hey, I really like this entry model, can you modify the orb algo to have this entry model? Or I want the IB to confirm, yeah, that's what I was referring to now, to confirm with a candle close to the direction before determining the direction for the day. So that's what, yeah, that's that. The IB50 and the way that Zinc trades it, by the way, is there's a lot more nuance that goes into it. So it's really difficult to build
Very
an
close to
algo
being
around
perfectly
it.
mechanical. Very close. That new adjustment and sorry I missed this question from earlier, Conscious. This report from the closing zone, I put my stop loss at 75% of the IB now. Oops. So we go into IB by rejection, custom, and we're just going to look at 75%. Do all weekdays, actually. And we'll go to do 3 years worth of data for it. That closing zone significantly decreases the chance that you go, even if it's afterwards. So I know this one only does the report for when it closes right at 10:30. If the candle at any point during the IB closes at 75%, this stat very closely carries until the IB breaks. So I put my stop loss at 75% now. And if it, so for Monday's example, I didn't short this one, but if I had, this would have been a short position at IB50. I put my stop at 75%. And then the full TP, if the stop loss gets hit, I pivot the position to go long to target the IB high.
It's pretty good.
And it's negated it's either a break-even day or the day ends up being, because the initial loss I had on the trade was IB high. That's when it's invalidated.
Yep.
And now that I decreased the risk reward or increased it, so my RR is now 2 for the first trade, and then 1-to-1 for the second. It's either a break-even day, I hit full TP with 2R, or I end up getting double stopped, which is the same as just the initial trade I would have had open.
Yeah.
Also, back-to-back days that we just had a sub 30% stat get hit for the gap fill by size. We had a 43% stat. That's over 3 years. Let's go 6 months. Doesn't look like it changed, actually. 43%. Not sub 30. Still pretty low, though.
Yeah.
Back-to-back days. You see this comment? 10-year back test.
Dude, give me a 150-year back test.
I want to know what the market was doing when it opened.
Yeah, when they traded exclusively with paper. What do you think about this price action right now? I know you don't typically trade yet.
I'll give you one guess which direction I like.
North.
Yeah, I think, we're definitely going to go up to previous day's high now, 726 for the inside bar stat.
All-time highs today.
clipping this if it actually hits.
Yeah, someone clip it.
That is the satire, by the way. We should
Yeah,
not. We're right at previous day's 50. For us to break the inside bar, we have to move 900 points up or down right now.
Yeah, there's no way.
Very unlikely.
Yeah.
Very, very unlikely. I don't mind it. I'm a fan of upside. I think my overall read on this is that this is just a shakeout. Quarter
Dude,
two
the range
start.
is huge.
It's massive. We've
a
moved
1% orb.
In the past 4 trading days. We have moved down $60 on QQQ, which is 2,400 points on NQ in no time at all. I did take my first red day yesterday for the past 12, though.
It's pretty good. 1 out of 12.
It is. And it got even more traction because the red day was 67.
Is that
got a little brain rot going behind it? Yeah.
Dude, I never figured out, like, what is that?
I don't
like,
even
what
know.
is it?
I think it's like a rapper song that he said.
A rapper song
7.
is like the most boomer response ever.
Yeah, I can't call it.
I would like to see a move back up to this orb high to see how it's going to react. But I do think that we're going to get the midpoint of the orb here, which I'm not thrilled about because I won.
Probably not going to trade. I haven't been able to trade NQ. So it'll probably be ES again. NQ, just in the first 24 minutes right now, we have a 400-point range on the dot. So it's a $400 risk reward from the midpoint of the IB.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
A little too big, especially coming after for multiple weeks, excluding the past 4 days. For multiple weeks, multiple months, the largest range we had was maybe 200 for the IB.
Yeah.
And now I don't know what I had this level on here for previous. Oh, shoot. We do have what do you think about the opening week range? It's not going to break today because it's previous days.
Dude,
range,
we would need a by size sub report there.
This isn't something that we've run into before.
Look at the comments.
Yeah, I see that. Rapper song. Yeah. Rap song.
Oh, that's hilarious. I'm just saying, like, by size is probably going to be a big metric there because if it doesn't break, like, if you get the opening week range, it's 2,000 points versus an opening week range that might be 500 points. You know, I feel like that might make a big difference. Yeah. So I'm not sure if that'll hold. I'm not sure if that's going to be the most useful today.
So one that is not on the stream, but this is coming from Discord. Tough question for Andre. If algos work, then why not keep it for yourself? Why publish it to the world?
Good question. So I actually have gotten this question so many times. I run my own algos. I've been doing it since 2024, which is when I started building the initial algos. I've been running them. I've been testing them. But when we give them to you guys, for anyone who doesn't have the algo plan, the way that it works is that we give you the foundation where you can go and customize all the settings. So it's not like, yeah, you could maybe figure out the settings that I have, or you can figure out the settings that maybe James has, or maybe he'll, like, whatever. Some people will tell you, some people won't. But it's not like I'm giving away this like thing that like Jane Street has built in the sense that like it's super proprietary. It's like these exact conditions work in this exact market environment. It's a way to quantify the strategies that you're trading in a way that's not subjective. So when you're looking at like the orb strategy, like the orb algo that we have, you can see that it's actually very consistent across different tickers, across different profit targets, across different risk to reward profiles, but it's still in your control. Meaning you still need to dictate the position size. You still need to dictate like the type of risk to reward. You still need to follow through with the plan. And there's James. You still need to follow through with the plan of actually executing it, letting it run and not interfering with it. And at the end of the day, my focus now is not to start a hedge fund. I have looked into it, actually, very heavily looked into it. And we had a conversation about this. I forget what stream it was. Recently, I think it was one with James, but I actually looked into it. It's actually not, I worked at a hedge fund and I looked into starting one. It's a nightmare to do it. It's actually a nightmare to do it. Like, it's not worth it. Where my focus is on building edgeful, making an impact on the trading community. And if that means building strategies and foundations of strategies, we'll never say that there's a holy grail. There is not a holy grail that exists, but we're building a foundation of strategies or multiple strategies that we will pass to you guys. And honestly, at the end of the day, the more success you guys have, the more success we have. My focus is on building edgeful. The only way to do that is to have a positive impact on the trading community. So what we do is we're not going to like gatekeep all the stuff that actually is like working. We'll give that away, and that benefits edgeful over time. So,
what's up, guys?
Yep.
What's up?
My Wi-Fi should be better. I shouldn't be looking like I've got a Nokia picture now. So, what a
good question.
By the way, what a day yesterday! What a day yesterday!
Yeah. Zing, I don't know if you can,
That's a crazy day yesterday.
Yeah.
I am.
What would you like me to do? Like edgeful?
No. I was gonna say I was gonna say that we had that feature out, but it's not out yet. But while I was explaining that, I missed this entry at the one high. I would be curious about 2980 on NQ. Damn. Wow, that 2980 was beautiful.
My Wi-Fi is struggling today too. I don't know what's going on. Usually a lot better than this. I think we're probably immediately going to go up to that high for today.
We are almost wicking that weekly view app as well, Zinc, on that first 15 minutes up there. Start of week view app. You like the shorts, Andre? Your side.
I'm furious right now.
Yeah.
This was the
Of course he likes the shorts.
I had this here before.
Doesn't he like the shorts?
Like waiting for this to come up. And I wasn't paying attention because I was answering that question. But yeah, that's out of the question now. I'm gonna get a coffee. missing these trades. I'll be right back.
NQ breaking session view app right now. No trades for you in the Globex, Zinc?
I think we'll have a pretty good bounce from here. No, I did. I took a short on the IB for last night. I don't know what is going on with my Wi-Fi or my computer. I took a short for this IB, the Asia IB. Am I cutting in and out? Sorry about that.
A little bit.
I don't know what's going on with the Wi-Fi. I took a short for Asia IB and ended up holding it for 90 minutes. A long time. And then I couldn't stay up any longer. It did end up hitting full TP.
Someone's asking, yeah, I'm watching this level on NQ 29,200 that we are respecting. It was also obviously the gap fill price. I'm just watching that at the minute. Or potential short off of it, but let's see.
I think we get back up to that high pretty quick.
20. Where are you looking for the highs?
$21,630. 29,630.
29. Yeah, sure.
Am I getting 2-to-1 R entering at 40% with stop loss of 75? What you need, yeah, the absolute peak is going to be entering at 50% of the IB. I'm getting about a 1.5 R now. Let's give away.
Why is everyone typing edgeful in the chat? Today is giveaway Wednesday.
Yeah.
At the end of the stream, we give away 5 free months to 5 different people. So 1 month per person. 5 people are going to win. So if you type edgeful in the chat, doesn't matter where you're watching, you will be entered to win 1 free month of edgeful. If you already have an edgeful sub, you still count. So you can win more than once. But you got to stay to the end of the stream, obviously, to see if you won. So that's why everyone's typing edgeful in the chat.
Got those comments flying in.
Yep.
Sorry. Mine keeps cutting out. Andre, take the screen back over. I'm gonna try to reset my Wi-Fi, see if that does anything. Be right back.
James, what are you thinking?
I like the shorts of this level, Andre, I must say.
God, I hate how big this range is, though.
But yeah, for you guys in the futures contracts, it must be quite tricky to be lowering sizing and everything like that. But yeah, let me get my screen up here. There you go. So something like this, which I spoke about on the pre-market, Andre, like I did mention that potentially a gap fill, which we got, and then maybe a move back down to previous day's lows. So on ES, that would be
dude, oh my God, previous day's lows? That's crazy.
Bro, well, we're not out of this question with yesterday's movement, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So something like that. That's what I would be like looking for. Maybe we don't get it today, but I mean, it's not out the question with how. I mean, the opening range low break yesterday from low to high was 1,400 points. I mean, this is where we're seeing it now is only half of that. It's only half of that. It's only 800.
Yeah.
So maybe something like that, and then like I'll be shorting to like opening range low. But ideally, like right now we would need to get below session VWAPs at the minute, Andre. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking at the moment. With NVDA and Tesla being down 1.6%. And 1% respectively. So let's see.
Yeah. Wow, we're getting a push here. I don't know about I would like some confirmation to the shorts right now.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't really like this candle.
Maybe something, maybe on like the lower time frames, it will be something like a break of New York session and daily, and then we can look to short like in over here.
Yeah.
But for now, I'm okay with being a bit patient.
Yeah.
The range is pretty crazy.
Dude, the range is huge.
Yeah. Also, one thing will be is like the first 30 minutes is green at the moment, so you would be going against that opening candle continuation for sure, which is one of my favorite ones to use.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a question here. What are you thinking long? I don't really know right now. I think we're at a pretty pivotal spot. If we do something a little bit more,
I think we are at a pivotal spot, as you mentioned. Like, if we break above here, then longs could be back on the cards, back up to where we sold off of. If we don't, if we start to break lower, then we're still trading obviously inside the Monday and Tuesday range. We're underneath, and the things why I also like shorts is we're underneath the 5-day SMA and the weekly VWAP. So I like to use that for my high time frame confluence. So over here is a start of week VWAP and then the 5-day SMA, which Brian Shannon loves to use, and he was obviously at our event. He loves to use for high time frame confluence. So he will like to sell rallies if we're below, and above obviously buy dips.
Yeah.
Okay, that should be better. Sorry about that.
Yeah, this is a pretty pivotal spot right now that we're in. I'm not interested in too much right now, just yet, but we'll see. I think that we might get that new high day, but based on the way that based on the way that this is moving right now.
Yeah, so I no longer front run the IB because it's very crucial on it's very important where we close on the IB. So we're going to go and look at Qs, and we're looking at all weekdays just at the 75 to 100% closure. We need some more data for this. 6 months isn't really enough. When we close within 75%, which is the top, also look at that new high getting taken.
Yep.
Just about. That was a perfect IB 50 retest. Almost got my TP on top step. Trading those ones a little riskier. The top zone is 25% because it's a bullish IB today. The bottom zone is 75%. So if we close in this zone, bottom of the IB right here, not very likely. It's the same thing that you can say for the inside bars, outside days. If we close there, it's probably not going to reverse and take a 3 to 4 hour trade, right?
Yep.
And the data reflects that as well. So when we close within that region, it's a 90% chance that you go and take out the level that is, even if you formed it first. So IB high formed first, but you close at 75%. Just about 90% stat for going and taking the high, and 82 for taking the low. What that tells me is it doesn't really make sense to hold the trade for. So what I typically do is I go long at the 50, or I did. Stop loss at IB low because that's where it was invalidated. But with these stats, it tells us that if it does get to that level, or if it closes at 1030 at 75%, you're not going to be taking a trade that's 3R, and it's only going to hit 10% of the time, 20% of the time, maybe. So now I put my stop loss at 75%, and then the TP is still the high. If my stop loss gets hit, what I've been doing is flipping the position and going short, and that is data backed as well. So it's not that the IB is technically invalidated when you break the opposing level, but what this is telling me for 2 years worth of data, it's pretty much invalidated when you break 75% of the IB. It will be 11 consecutive Wednesdays if we close at 90% of the IB today and go and take the high.
That would be crazy. I mean, it looks like we're about to do it too.
It does.
I mean, we still have some time, but
on the flip side of that data, which is why we can't front run it because we don't know where it's going to close within the IB. If it closes within 0 to 25%, which Dan Cook, by the way, Andre, loves this stat because this validates his entry at IB 25 even more.
yeah.
New high taken yet?
Not yet. Just about. Oh, there it is.
There we go.
Yeah. Yes, as well.
So closing at 0 to 25%, which is the IB 25, that's what Dan Cook gets, pushes us way in the opposing direction, 92 and 85, that you go and take out the level that should be taken out, which if the high forms first, you anticipate the low, vice versa.
Yeah.
I've traded... I opened with the volatility. I opened a Top Step account. I have 3 express funded right now. I have traded no more than 2 micros today. I've taken on this account. I've taken 8 trades with 2 micros, which I know sounds a lot. I'm just playing the directional bias, which is stuff that I usually say on stream, which I think we're going to go up here. So I take 2 micros. 2 micros. Largest position, and I'm up 2,417.
Beautiful.
See if I can actually log into Top Step X. I'll show you guys. Remember what my email, what my login is. It's always just logged in on my phone. Okay. There we go. So these are brand spanking new. Max lot size, 2 micros the entire time. No more, no less. I have 1 on all of them.
How do you like Top Step X?
I'm not really a fan. After trading on Tradeaway, I'm not a fan of it. This is the platform that I got into futures with. Not really that big of a fan of it because it's a little too... The fills aren't very good. It goes down quite a bit. This is a great platform for beginner traders to start out on, but not too good for, especially after having traded on Tradeaway. Tradeaway's a lot more accurate with the fills and levels they have. I struggle a lot clearing the 50% consistency rule. Can you please explain how you go about clearing them? I use the same trade concepts. This is not something I would recommend for everyone to do. This is just what I do because I have the experience, or I just don't like spending my time in the evals, which is what a lot of people say. I do the same trades. So last night, if I was short on the IB, I went in with 1 micro. That made me $90 per account, just about. If I'm on an eval, I'll size up to 4 micros or 5 and then aggressively trail my stop to break even to de-risk. If you are struggling with 50% consistency, or you're struggling with accounts in general, there are more than enough accounts out there like Lucid, Tradeify. Andre asks me this all the time. More than enough accounts that you can go and pick from that have a one-time payment, no consistency in the eval, and you can pass it when you pass it. You don't need to size up. You don't need to rush to do it within a month. And there's no... What was that?
You don't need to risk the whole thing.
Yeah, and there's no... Like what I was telling you about this morning, Andre, a 5% limit down rule. You have to take a trade every 7 days.
Dude, it's crazy. I mean, the trade every 7 days, I understand a little bit more because I know that there are like fees that you have to pay. So if you don't, like if the account's dead, they're going to pay the fee anyway. So they're like, well, I might as that makes more sense, but the limit down thing is crazy. Like, what difference does it make?
Yeah. Tradify's back up. Let's see. I bet their grand cut probably messed it up. So first place on Tradify. Take a guess at his total profit for the entire thing.
100 grand.
I'm gonna say 50.
120,000.
Wow.
Trading one mini max on a 50K account.
Jeez.
He crushed. Good for him. Deserved.
So he won 200,000, and he gets to keep all the profits from the live account that he traded for the last 8 rounds.
So the 120K?
120K was with the qualifiers as well.
Okay.
He ended up making 27,000.
Pretty solid. I don't really like this price action right now, to be honest. I feel like maybe we're coiling up to make a move in a certain direction. But I don't know. I'm not too big of a fan of this right now. The way that
we're just moving up and down, bro, between 140 and 70.
Bear, I just saw your comment. Tradify is back up. I just logged in. I only have one account showing out of the 5. Probably won't be able to trade on those today.
Let me pull something up quick. So most likely today, this is what Zinc, this is what I was trying to look for on your end.
Okay. See it.
Left sidebar, discovery page. What is the purpose of this page? The reason that we built this page, for anyone who's watching for the first time who hasn't heard me talk about this, the reason that we built this page was because we've added so much, we've added so many reports that it becomes very difficult to find like what's actually working now. So, for example, the IB by rejection, the way that you would have to find it if you didn't know Zinc, if you didn't go on Twitter, if you just signed up to Edgeful through a YouTube video that you saw, you have to go to Edgeful, you'd have to go to the IB report, and then you'd have to find the IB sub-report of the buy rejection, and then you'd have to go and kind of like figure out what that is. It will be available today. I see the question here from Ray.
Nice.
So pretty much what we did was we broke down each of the reports into different, I call them outcomes. So like you look at the initial balance, the standard report, the single break is an outcome. The double break is an outcome. The no break is an outcome. So pretty much what this does is it looks at 724 outcomes across NQ, and we'll score them. You can pick whatever ticker. So I can go to whatever. I can go to ES. I can go to whatever. I can go to any stock. I can go to any Forex. I can go to any crypto. And then I can go through and say, I want to scan all the reports, all of the reports for the last, with a 6-month look back. And if you click scan, what it's going to do is it's going to go through and search all of the reports and all of the outcomes that we have in here, and it's going to rank them. Now, I built the score. It's a proprietary score, the way that we score these reports. Now, the issue is that there's too many that are scoring 100, which is
they're all IBs.
They are. A lot of them are IBs. Yeah, so a lot of them are IBs.
Let's go.
But if you go through, you can see some of these other ones that like you might not think about that often, like opening candle continuation, outside days by size, and like as you scroll down into like the 70s, like gap fill by weekday on Tuesdays specifically. This is so what's the difference between, what's the biggest difference from what's in play? This isn't telling you like when they're setting up. This is like trying to surface some of the reports to you. more so. So like, for example, fair value gaps by size, bullish fair value gaps mitigated, like within a certain size, like maybe this is not something you would go and figure out. If you look at the ATR by streak, which is a report, and once you click on it, you can see a little bit more of the information. Like right now, the score here is 72, but 30 days ago, it was 89. So you'll be able to understand like how is the score changing, and so there's that piece to it. But it's a way that you can surface these reports, so you can actually like go through and like learn how they work, or not learn how they work, learn what's working right now, or learn what you should be looking at. So like opening stats by weekday has a score of 68. By the way, the score is not the same as the actual data. So if you go all the way to the top, you can see gap fill by size. The score is 100, but the data is 81. The score and the data is different. The reason that we do that is just because something has 100% score. So if you you sort by what has 100%, it's not always necessary, like out inside bars by weekday, Wednesdays have a score of 100%, doesn't mean that it's always going to be the best one. It's very important to note. So this is going to be one of the ways, and obviously I'm going to change, I need to update the score because it's too many, there's way too many at 100, but I'm going to update the score so you can...
No, the IBs are right where they should be.
At the top. But yeah, so one of the challenging pieces about this, which is a little bit unfortunate, is that depending on the report, the way that we do the report, like if you look at the IB by breakout, it's never really going to score that high because the break of the IB high can only happen so often as a percentage, right?
Yep.
So if you break it out, instead of single break, double break, if you do break the high, break the low, break both, break neither, now each component can only be so much. Each of the four outcomes can only be so much. So the more granular the report is, the more difficult it is for it to rank highly, but
yeah,
it'll get improved over time. No, this is not released yet. It will be released today.
Can I steal the screen back?
Yep.
Oops. So for today, Mark and everyone, the other two that had that question, I am looking to get the IB high. So Wednesdays in particular, I've said this for the past several now. We're on 11 consecutive. Today will be the 11th. We've had 10 consecutive Wednesdays where the IB has closed at 90% of the range and broken the corresponding high or low within the first 5 minutes by 10:35. The downside to that is that we haven't had a pullback to enter on any of the Wednesdays. The stats are incredible. You can see it's 85 and 92. Sorry, that is the wrong stat. It's not very far off. It's still 92 for the high. It's over 2 years. Last time, there we go, 92 and 77. So it's very likely that we go and break the corresponding level. Today will be the high. Just jumping back from last Wednesday, same exact thing. We had, actually, this one did not play out. Sorry. So it's not consecutive at all. I was wrong. I was incorrect. Last Wednesday was a doozy. One before that. There we go. This is what Wednesdays typically do. So we marked this one out on stream. We closed right at 90%, and we took the IB low within the first 5 minutes. Same thing for the Wednesday before that. This one was on stream again, closed at 90% of the high. Took the IB high within the first minute on this one. And we've done that for prior to last Wednesday. I forgot about last Wednesday. We've done that for 10 consecutive Wednesdays. Engulfing algo was that one.
Engulfing candle algo. We got one.
Nice. I thought the same exact thing, Cheech. He's at the baseball tournament of all baseball tournaments.
What is that?
Omaha baseball tournament.
Couldn't tell you what that is. I have not watched a single game of the NBA Finals.
Either.
James, you've been watching, right?
I've watched a little bit. It's late in the night my time, bro. It's like early hours of the morning, so I haven't watched it live.
Yeah, I'm not I don't care at all. Honestly. I don't care at all.
My action for today, or what I'm looking for, and this is the hardest part with the IB, is waiting for a pullback. I always say that even we had one yesterday. It almost happened. We did still hit 25%. Monday this week is a good example. We were about 75, 80% of the way to the IB low, which is the correct level it should have broken, and then ended up taking the high. We're waiting for another 2 minutes. I think it's going to probably close right where it is right now. I'm actually going to go into the indicator and put in the 90% measure.
You know why this price action sucks?
Why is that?
Because I'm wearing a black t-shirt.
I need the color, boss.
I know. That's what
Mark said. Dan and I both wore black yesterday too. So we should, this is 90% of the IB that I just marked out, 709.64. We should close right about there and then probably immediately go and take the high. I don't think it's going to pull back all that much. But if it does.
Oh, you just got that pullback right this moment.
Right, so it's 25.
By the way, I just put a link in the chat here. I don't know if it didn't go everywhere, but I just want you guys to know yesterday, the new AI model from Anthropic came out, Fable 5. It's like the super genius, whatever, the next level, like whatever superhuman thing, which is honestly actually a lot better in my experience than Opus, just so you guys know. So Fable 5 in my experience is actually a lot better. But we gave it access to the full edgeful API, and we just said, find patterns for all the IB subreports on YM. So if you guys are interested, go to the link that I just put in. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's also pinned on the edgeful Twitter. So you guys can go there. If you like and reply IB, we will send you the full PDF of exactly what it pulled from the edgeful API. Very interesting stuff. Mostly what it did was it was layering confluence, like layering, okay, when this happens and this happens, that actually improves the odds of this happening by X%. So I would highly recommend doing it. It's completely free. You don't need to give us your email or anything like that. You just like and you reply IB to the chat, to the post that is pinned in the
I think I might try the entry at 25. It's a little bit over 25 right now.
Go for it.
13 points. Probably talked about too long. If it can hit 20, I'll put a buy order in. Oh man. Sell 5 stop. Not this again. Show all. There we go. My trade debate's been so buggy. Give me the entry at 25. This one will be 1-to-1. My stop is 17 points. Come on. There we go. I did get filled at 25. I'm going 1-to-1 on it. Getting a
Dude, look at you. IB 25.
I know. We'll see if it ends up biting me or not. Most of the times I enter at IB 25, it ends up pulling back to the 50 or where I want it to pull back to. We'll see. Just like this. Sounds about right. I ate my words real quick. the times you don't think it's going to pull back, it ends up doing just that. It'll pull back right to where your ideal entry is. We'll see. It's also for Wednesdays. We're looking at the closure zone 0 to 25%. We're going to get 2 years worth of data on this as well. We have a 91 on both, and we've had 21 and 35 outcomes for that. If I go over to SPY, it should be about the same, 94 and 82. So we have a very high chance, because we closed over 25% of the IB on both SPY and Qs, that we go up to that high. I just don't know how far it's going to pull back for this. Range is too big, 1 micro is too large. Yeah, on M and Q, 1 micro is way too big for today. We formed on M and Q, our low 28,766 and our high 29,233. So this is a just below 500 point range on the IB.
It's insane.
First hour of market open, 500 points. Proud of myself for setting a limit at the 50 and not touching it. Progress, even though if I don't get into a trade. Very good.
100%. Good habits. That's the important piece.
Is there a best algo strategy for prop firms? Is it proof to work? Most prop firms, unfortunately, do not let you trade algos.
So you can trade them manually if you want. While the trade triggers on your trading view, you can actually just take the trade. So you can still use the algos. What I would recommend actually is to use ones that have higher win rates. It's really, really tough to pass evals or to have, like, when you have the consistency and trailing drawdown and whatever else, it's very hard to have like a 40% win rate with a 3-to-1 risk to reward, because if you take 2 or 3 losers in a row, right, with a fresh account, like that's where you're going to get kind of cooked, and it's going to be really tough to pull yourself out of that. So I just wanted to highlight that to you guys, is if you are going to go with some of the algos, the orb is one that has a higher win rate naturally. Now you can customize it. That's what I was explaining before. You can fully customize it to be, wow, Zinc, you're getting this push. What an entry.
Yeah.
All out right there, because NQ took the high. Yep, NQ took the high, so I got out of ES. ES will probably go and take it, but it's just another rule I have in place. 51.25, so 250 on that trade on 1 MES.
Beautiful.
Nice.
So you can use any algo, but you can customize all of them. That's what Edgeful does differently from every other like algo provider, is that it's not a black box. You know why every trade is triggering. You know exactly how it works. You customize it to your preference, and you're in control of what you're doing. You decide. Like James has much different settings than I do, and other people have different settings than others. And we have a private Discord group for algo users where you can share settings, but we also have the optimizer that'll help you kind of like figure out what works well for you. But yeah, there's nothing like, yes, the automation, some prop firms won't allow you to automate algos on the prop firm, but there's nothing stopping you from looking at your trading view chart, watching that the algo is triggering, and then placing the trade manually in your prop account.
You'll also get the alert as well.
What's up, Zane? I mean, yeah, of course. Why would you not be able to do that?
Record yourself taking a picture of the button.
Yeah, whatever.
See, this was me. This wasn't an algo. Why do I exit when NQ takes the high or ES? It drags on significantly. When one of these levels gets taken, it's the same thing that we do with previous day's high and previous day's low. It's a very significant draw.
Hilarious.
Perfect price action. Yeah, I mean, I'm not complaining. This is a great example happening right now. It will still go and hit TP. It typically does. It just takes another 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes. The worst one that I did, actually, and Dan was on stream for this. I'm glad that I save all these trades and the long and short positions on here. It was Tuesday, May 19th. If I can find it. There we go. So
what time?
What time?
Tuesday, May 19th. This man knows everything, bro.
It was at 10:45. So if we go back and look at both SPY and Qs, bear with me for a moment here. The only reason I know is because I looked at it yesterday.
Sure.
Fresh off the top of my head. So SPY on Tuesday went and took the low at 10:45. I was in the trade on NQ. Actually, no. I took the trade on ES. Dan Cook does not trade ES. He trades NQ only. He took the trade on NQ. He ended up getting stopped out. We never went and broke the low. We missed the low by 10 points on NQ, and then we took the high. ES took the low, and then that prompted us to bounce off that level with aggression. Same thing that we're doing right now. NQ taking the high. Huge rejection at the IB high. ES well back below 25%. So it's a pretty large loss of liquidity or a draw in where price wants to go. I didn't take it on NQ because it was too big today. NQ was way too low. It was even from 25% of the IB, that was a 125 point trade just now. So the entry would have been 29,117. Exit would have been 29,231, 232. So just about 120 points. So $240 risk reward, and that's with the 1-to-1 stop. The stop loss was at IB 50 on that trade. I would much rather go over to MES, and that was a 17-point risk reward, so $85. I would much rather risk 85 on a 1 micro, especially being up from last night already, than going over to M and Q. It moves a lot more volatile, but this was too big of a range right there. Do I always close if the other takes the target? Yes, I do. Yes. This is as good of an example as you can get right now. NQ took the high, ES rejected with NQ, and now I would be red on the position. So it saves mental capital. Sometimes you get lucky with the one that you're in being the one that takes the high first. This should still break. The stats still favor it breaking the high. I just got out of that position at, what time was it? So 6 minutes ago right now. That's another 6 minutes that I'd be in the trade that some freak thing could happen, or we reject and do what we did on Tuesday, May 19th. That's the main reason I didn't take it on NQ today. It worked a lot better. We hit 25%, then went right up.
Yep.
But it was just too big of a risk. 120 points on 1 micro is a little too high. This is all coming from hindsight as well. That could have easily just wicked down. Now you're down 240 in 3 minutes. What do you, Andre and James, what do you guys think about trading during increased volatility? Do you size down for it, or do you avoid it?
A day like yesterday, or like a day like today?
Even like that IB that we just had right now with the break.
I just think it's so hard. I mean, James is different because he can risk whatever he wants. Like, we can't, like, I feel like it's the same thing that what Dan said. Like, if the IB is too big, you're just like, you're kind of stuck by placing your trade in, like, at an invalidation point that is just too far. That's why I say, like, I don't want to risk 80 points on NQ. Like, I don't want to do it. Like, I'd rather get a better entry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I just widen my stops and I, keep the sizing, the same, really. Just go with wider stops. Doesn't really change too much what I do. If anything, just wider stops. Yeah. But like you guys with 1 NQ, you can't go with like a 200-point stop and risk $100 if you want to.
No.
Yeah.
Like MNQ right now, if this is all coming from hindsight. Yes, if I had taken it on MNQ, I would have won and made $240 in 3 minutes right there. Fantastic, incredible. could have just as easily dropped to 50% of the IB in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's all up to personal risk. I rely heavily on the risk calculator on Edgeful. It's free.
It is.
I like to risk about 6% of my account per trade. So 16 losing trades in a row for me to lose the account, to blow it. These are my stats of that happening. 40% win rate will only happen 2% of the time. Now, for today, I don't have the luxury of risking 120 if I were to take one micro. And you can see what happens when I increase that risk to 240, which is what that trade would have been. That 2% now jumps all the way up to 79, 31, 6%. Even at a 70% win rate, I have a 1% chance, which was previously 0. But that's 12% of my account that I would have just risked on that trade.
I'm still flat, Andre. I don't know about you.
Same. I'm not interested in this, to be honest, right now. Look at that. 1,400. What's up?
IB's always goated. That's why it has 100 on the score.
Best.
I
got to change that, actually. I have to. The problem was I put so much effort into that score that I don't know how I'm going to like prevent more reports.
The IB is just that good. You don't need to change it. It's that good.
Yeah, the score is actually like pretty complex to do, but
is it based on you wearing a black or white shirt?
It is actually. It depends.
It's on the buttons. How many buttons he's got?
Yeah, how many buttons do I have open? Dude, I should just rip off the buttons at the top for my shirts. I'm telling you, it's way better if you leave it open a little bit. You can't have the buttons all the way up.
White shirts win more than black.
But you know what? One thing I cannot stand: when people wear a tie and they don't pull it up all the way up. So that you have the tie and then the button at the top is showing. I'm like, dude, just tighten it up. Tighten it up a little bit. You're going to wear a tie? I won't be able to trade.
With the top button undone.
No. You have the top button done. But the tie itself is just sitting too low and you need to pull it up higher. So it's sitting like covering the button. I hate that.
Let me write this down. Rage baiting Andre 101.
Yeah, dude, it's
top button done, loose tie for next Wednesday, everyone.
Oh my God, dude, it's the worst. I need to show you what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh God.
You know what my pet peeve is with ties is not having, this one's a little much, I think, but not having a double Windsor, only having a single Windsor. So
that's like the one with the really fat knot, right?
The unsymmetrical, like curved, tiny triangle. That's a single Windsor. I always do a double one.
Yeah, I don't know which one. The Baltus is the one that I do.
I already secured my trade. This could not. I'm so happy this happened. This could not have been a better example of why I secure when one of them takes the level and the other one doesn't. Stop loss would have just been hit had I held the trade. NQ, huge rejection at a huge level of liquidity, or just a very important level. Stop loss would have been hit on SPY. This is now a good entry on SPY off the 50. So you could. I'm done for the day. I'm up 700. 650 technically. So you could go long off IB 50. Your stop loss is 75%, and then if it hits the stop loss, you pivot to go short.
Yeah, that's the level that it's bouncing off of to look for shorts for me. It was on NQ, was at 29,200.
I'm gonna get a coffee. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
We'll see what he says about that when he gets back, Steve. Ties with a t-shirt, that would probably send him. Does everyone understand why we get out when one of the levels is taken? Could not have been a better example today. When it comes to Edgeful stats, today it says ES would have a 68% chance of breaking the high. At what point do you not take it? ES should have been a lot higher than 68. if you're looking at, I look at SPY for the data, but even ES, I look at 6 months worth. We were looking at 92% earlier. Let's see. Regardless of the closing zone, we have a 92.3, and that is with 13. So only one Wednesday has lost over the past 6 months. 13 Wednesdays, one of them lost. Even if we look at ES on this, look at MES, it should be about the same. 84% is a really high stat. You may have your data configured incorrectly. Even if it was 68%, I'd still take the trade. This is the ideal entry right here with the entry at 50. And this all comes back to what you just asked for, Mex. No, he's not in here anymore, sadly. This is all the patience aspect. So even when you don't think it's going to pull back, it still does. You don't expect it to pull back. You don't expect it to chop around, or you think it's going to go and take the full IB high. Never be too overconfident in the trade hitting, or else you're going to blow up off of it. Question here from Steve for you, Andre. What about
no, 100%, absolutely no. I don't care what the situation is. What's up?
Even if there's a little pocket here?
0. No shot. 0. Absolutely not.
So putting a tie on next week.
With a button down is fine. Also, tie, open button down, loose tie is fine.
Really?
Loose, like if you're in, like, let's just say you're in the office. You open the top button, you loosen it a little bit. It's open at the top. That's okay. But not close button, loose tie. Absolutely not.
Can we get a double IB break? Actually, funny enough, you asked. Wednesday is the lowest day of the week to get a double break in the IB. We go to sub-report by weekday. For Wednesdays, we have on SPY an 11% chance, so 1 in 10. QQQ, 3.85%. 1 out of the past 26 Wednesdays has had a double break. Can you explain the reasoning behind putting your stop at 75% instead of IB low? If it hits the 75% mark, and that's based on, I know this report is based on when it closes at 10:30, but the data isn't. I've done this. I've looked at it personally, gone through all the days.
You know how much it infuriates me that's the process right now. I hate that. So I'm gonna fix it.
So sorry. I don't mind it. It's fine.
You're like, please don't change it.
If you change it, just let me know. Just let me know. When it closes at 75%, the data significantly changes to go and take the level that was formed first. So typically, if you have the high form first, low form second, you're targeting the low. If it closes at 75%, that drastically changes to 90% that you go and take the high, even though the high form first. And here's the actual table for it. 11 outcomes over the past 2 years. It doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it doesn't really pivot back to the upside. So if it hits the stop loss, I go and flip the position 1-to-1, stop at IB 50, TP at whatever level is anticipated to break. But for the double break on a Wednesday, very unlikely that we get one on Qs. Let's see what 2 years says by weekday. 2 years worth of data coming in. We have a 1 in 5. I have a double break today. Over the past 6 months, it's very unlikely.
Look at this comment.
If you become as good as us, you can wear whatever you want.
Except a loose tie with a fully buttoned shirt on stream.
That's great.
Will you fire me if I come showing up next week with...
No, I'll be really upset. It'll impact my trading probably.
I feel like that could be a joke, but at the same time, I feel like you're being dead serious. Like that would throw your whole day off.
No, you know what? Actually, I'm not like big on superstition, like routines and all that jazz. I don't really care about that. It would bother me that you did it, and when I looked at you on the camera, I'd be upset. But it wouldn't interfere with my trades. But it would definitely upset me.
So Andre, why did you lose today? No, Zink's tar was done incorrectly.
Exactly.
We are coming down quite heavily now on NQ. We're back at 29K. Sorry, yeah, we're actually taking the New York session view app. So I can just steal the screen here for a bit, Zink. I was watching this level. I mean, if I was being super aggressive, I probably could have taken a short like that. This is a 5-minute chart with stop at the high. So it would have to be a 100-point stop. That would have been a pretty quick trade. But we are taking the New York session view app right now. I think we could come back down to daily which would be like the 50% retracement of the RB. Before we look and opening range, before we look for any potential further longs, personally.
Let's actually, now that you said that, let's go and see what for Wednesday, see what the stats for IB by retracement is. Any size for Wednesday. So for the breakout, for Wednesdays, we have basically 1 in 3 stat that we're retracing to where we are right now, 50%.
While still being a single break day.
Correct.
But we're talking about NQ, right?
Yep.
Yeah, NQ.
Yeah.
SPY hasn't broken yet, so that wouldn't qualify for the buy retracement.
Correct. Oh, Robert with the absolutely yes. If you have a blazer on and you only do the bottom button, dude, see ya. See ya. If you only do the bottom button, that's insane. If you're ever wearing a blazer, the only button that you touch is the top button, and you only do one. Even if you have 2 or 3 buttons, you still only do the top button. That's it.
I have a blazer in the wall right behind me. I can go put that on.
Are you saying like you're doing all the blazers, all the buttons like down?
You should only do ever the top button only.
Yes.
No, agreed. Yeah. Agreed. Yeah.
Think you're gonna put it on and pop the collar too? And his
I'm just kidding. I wasn't gonna put it on.
I thought your Wi-Fi just cut out.
No,
Zink doesn't do anything because he leaves his cupboards open, so he doesn't do any buttons.
that is a wall, sir. That's a wall. That's a sound break on the wall. It's no different than the 2 black foam boards behind Andre.
Those are actually not foam boards, and my
Those are
team,
pins?
they give me so much heat about this. They're like, "You are insane. Why would you buy 2 fully black paintings?" Yeah, you can't really tell. Maybe like
I
it's
always
not
thought they were
coming through.
soundboards.
No, they're 2 gigantic, like 48-inch paintings.
Yeah, I think NQ is going daily view app, which is at 29.
Ray, when did this become my fashion by edgeful session? Robert said 19-year-old twins can't get this straight. It's
I really stuck my trade in there, huh?
Yeah, dude, this was coming down hard. Pretty aggressively.
That's why I have the rules that I do. It doesn't. So most of the time on stream, when I say why I get out when one of them breaks and the other one doesn't, they both go and break, so I look like an idiot. This is why I have the rule. If I had held that trade and I'm up 10 points, I'm being greedy about breaking another 6 points to the upside. Also, the stop loss would just hit on that 50% entry.
Dude, that's just taken daily view app, 923 on NQ.
Send it lower.
Now that this has hit 75%, it's a lot more likely that this
that's exactly correct.
So if you were in that trade, if you got in right at 50% of the IB, that was your entry right there. Just got stopped out at 75%. Now, the beautiful part about this is if it does end up hitting 2 stop losses, it's the same as if you were just in the initial trade with the invalidation at IB low. So with this concept, you can either do the one trade, your stop loss is 2R, your risk reward's 2R, or it's the same concept that I used to have, but we're looking for a break even on the day now. It's a lot more likely that this continues and goes all the way to the IB low. If it does double break, it's probably going to drag Qs all the way down with it.
Send it lower.
Look at look at YM. YM is actually the most bearish of all three of the indexes. Look at that, Andre. I know it does its own shit, but look at that. That actually looks pretty bearish. Like it never actually took the opening range high, and then you break.
ES hasn't taken it either, which is crazy.
Yeah, it didn't. YM didn't, and also it never came up to the highs of pre-market Asian session highs too. So it is actually interesting. See, these are the days, Andre, where I'm like, so if I'm looking for shorts, sell the weaker index. You know what I'm saying? Like this is
yeah, of course. But are you going to take a short on YM?
No, not now. But I'm saying like that this over here, when it takes a New York session VWAP with a stop at the high of day of regular market hours down to lows is a pretty nice trade because I was looking for shorts, but NQ and ES were making new highs. You know?
Yeah.
Wow, NQ flushing here.
So real quick,
that's a 250 point 15-minute bar, just casual. We weren't getting that
money
a
and get
couple
out
weeks ago.
What's up, Zink?
I said, get your money and get out.
That's right.
After the IB's broken, it's a lot less significant that you have up or down movement, confident up or down movement. Just as a reminder, we have 195 entries right now. If you guys comment edgeful on the YouTube stream or wherever you're watching from, you'll be entered to win 1 month of edgeful. We are giving away 5 of those in the next minute or two here. Last question is, how do you determine between taking the IB25 and IB50 entry? Today I took the IB25 because Wednesdays don't really pull back to the 50 all that much before breaking. I know we broke and now we're all the way back at 75% of the IB. SPY hasn't broken the IB yet. Pretty happy with how I played that today.
The question here, is there a stat for how much does price move if we do a double break on the orb? We do have the orb. The short answer is no, but if you look at the orb by performance, where is it? Look at the orb by performance. What this looks at, the average performance here, what it's measuring is how far does price typically move on the first break of the orb. Now, I'm curious what you mean, and if anyone else is curious about this report, maybe we can build it, but I would need some more information here about how far do we move from the first one or the second one, or I would need a little bit more information here. It looks like we're going to get this
double break.
Yeah, of the orb, not the IB, but
take a look at the, you want to pull my screen back up after you're done?
Yeah, do it.
Take a look at that alteration. So now that turns a losing day. If this goes and takes the IB low, it turns a losing day into a break-even day at worst.
Yeah.
Same size, by the way, too. 1 micro on both, and now you'd be just slightly red off the fees for the day. But I'm so freaking happy this happened finally. This is why I have the rule. This is why I have the rule with one of them breaking and the other one doesn't. Tuesday, May 19th was the last time it happened. NQ broke, ES broke the low, NQ did not. NQ went and took the high. We're seeing the flip thing right now. NQ went and took the high. We secure our position. ES looks like we're about to go and take the low. Or we have a crazy reversal from 75% of the IB, which is very, on the IBR retracement, very unlikely that we even get to that level.
Well, also, hold on, go back to your what's it called now? Your customizations are 20, 30, and 50%.
Yeah, anything below 50% on a breakout's got to be
So if
less
you
than
change
30.
it to be 75, if you go to the customization and change it to be 75%,
Let's see. Happens 15%.
15% of the time, price has pulled back into 75% of the IB without breaking the other side. So it's like you're going right up to the edge and you're slamming on the brakes and you're reversing. Pretty unlikely, but
Very
Um,
rare.
so I'm still flat right now. I might see if I can take some positions later on, but I do also want to, just before we do the lucky draw, we call it the lucky draw, the giveaway. We are still trading, and I know Zinc and Andre use the regular market hours, but I do like to use the extended market hours. We are still trading as an inside day on ES and NQ. If you look at ES and NQ, the previous day's highs and lows. Previous day's highs, and you can get the indicator for this with edgeful, 490, 7490, and down at the low 7425, 246, call it. So for me, I know we've spoken about this on streams before, but for me, I don't really trade well when we haven't taken out a high low personally. So that's maybe something to keep in mind too. But you see how I'm using the stats, because if you go to the edgeful data, just to do this quickly, inside days, inside bars, we can go on NQ. On NQ in the last 6 months, let's go to the daily session. That only happens, let it load, 12% of the time. So why would I try
load speed?
Say again?
Pretty good load speed, huh?
Not bad, especially considering my Wi-Fi has been acting up. But only 12% of the time, which is why would I trade on a day like this when I can trade on a day where it breaks out? Now, I could use this potentially as a target to trade towards the lows later on. So I'm not discounting that I might take a trade later, but that's just my thought process right now. But yeah, now we can do the giveaway. Good trading today, Zinc. That's a masterclass. So.
Thank you.
There you go.
That's why the IB has 100 on the score.
By the way, guys, we have 966 people watching right now, and only 225 of you have commented edgeful in the chat. If you want to win or potentially win a free month, comment edgeful in the chat right now before he clicks draw, because if you don't do it, you're not eligible for the free month. So I don't know why you'd be watching and you wouldn't want. And by the way, if you have an edgeful sub already, you can still win and get a free month anyway. So just to mention that.
On it in 5, 4, 3, 2. Here we go. Good luck. I gotta get Slack. I always forget this. Always forget. You'd love to hear that I use Slack.
Dude, James almost won again.
Web browser. I don't use the
You
app.
should get the app. I don't know why you use. Terrible.
Fish, I might be bullish. Congratulations. That's a good one. That's a good name.
Stafford goes, you're messing up my chances.
All right, we got first one in. You guys start liking the stream and get it up more. Maybe we'll give away more than 5. What do you think, Andre?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe if we get a bigger percentage of people that are watching to comment, I would do it.
Patrick Varga, second one. Third one coming in. James almost won again.
I don't think you can actually. I don't know how it's pulling them.
When I got the glasses on, I always win, baby.
I'm struggling a little bit with that name. Okay.
Oh,
Zulini.
Maru
Zulini.
Zulini.
Marunette Zellini. All right, we got 2 more coming in. Good luck. Oh, almost pip T. Guy Baker 4661. All right, last one coming
Morocco. Congrats.
in. Last one. I like this giveaway. It's nice and easy. Poncho M7D while wearing a poncho. All right, Bish, I might be bullish. Patrick Varga, Zellini, Marunette Zellini, Guy Baker, and Poncho M7D. Make sure you email hello@edgeful.com. Screenshot of your YouTube login, and that will get you your 1 month of Edgeful. Giveaway winner is 610. All sent
Donald,
back end.
I can slow it down. One of the reasons I actually speed it up is because I want to make sure that people try to like get as much as possible of the information. I'll keep it a little bit slower. I've been doing 1.4x speed. I'll keep it to 1.2 for any videos in the future, but I try to speed it up just because sometimes there can be pieces that are a little bit boring, so I don't want people to drop off. That's why I do it. But all the videos I have been making are sped up, as I'm sure you can tell by my live stream cadence. But yes.
That's crazy. I actually just took a short on NQ on that pullback to daily VWAP for over 100 points. So that was pretty.
Very nice.
Beautiful.
That SPY trade's still in too. Didn't hit the stop loss yet. That should go and take the low, and then your break even on the day if you took the IV50. But I'm ending at nice little 650 on the day.
There you go.
Went back from yesterday and then some.
So yes, just to quickly show, I just took that over there like this, edge of stage. Sorry, Zinc.
We're good.
There you go. Respect of daily view up and pull out at the lows. So quick little scalp.
Beautiful.
Also good.
Looks like it wants to continue lower too. Crazy.
Good point there from Steve. Donald, you can slow it down on your.
I think bro, this guy. All right. All right, guys. I don't know what happened to Zinc just a second ago, but
yeah.
it was a good stream. Have a good one, guys.